Hello, hello, hello. I hope the wind's not bugging you guys. I'm out at the lake, trying to enjoy this little bit of summer and the year of 2020, social distancing, COVID, and so much stuff. But I hope everyone's doing well. We're coming up on the actual year anniversary of my diagnosis of ALS. And it's actually, I have FALS, so familial ALS. I want to talk a little bit about genetic ALS. So for ALS patients, 90% of the ALS patients are sporadic. And I'm saying this, I want to preface this, I should say, if you have any questions that you may have ALS, or if your family has more than one member of ALS, I recommend you see a neurologist. And if you have any concerns, talk to the neurologist. He may refer you to a genetic counselor. So follow them. They are the ones that have the best advice for your individual case. I am just a PALS that happens to be from a family of ALS and FTD patients with our particular genetic mutation. But there are many different mutations, and still with that, over 90% of people are sporadic, or they just haven't found the cause of their ALS, if it is genetic. So, and you're going to hear boats in the background. I'm sorry, I hope that doesn't bother you. My father had FTD. He was diagnosed back in 2008. It's before my form and our family's form of genetic mutation was known publicly. I had an uncle. My father died in 2012 after being accurately diagnosed
Correction,
with FTD.
it was actually 2010 he passed away.
I remember at that time them telling me that there is a form that may be genetic of FTD. Since we didn't have anyone else in the family that was known with it, it was just like, I put that back in my thought, but I always remembered it. I had an uncle, my father's brother, that was diagnosed with ALS. Then I knew that was probably genetic in the family, just gut knowledge. So my uncle died before he had the genetic testing. So I actually was one of the first in the family to test positive for the C9orf72 mutation. Since then, I've had other people in my family that have been involved in genetic studies and been invited back, so most likely they have it. Also, recently had an uncle diagnosed with ALS and FTD, another one of my father's brothers. So, I feel for my uncle and my aunt and my cousins, because this is a hard journey. There's still a lot of joy in life. Life is what you make of it. Whether you have a terminal disease, you can still have a good life. You can have good days and bad days, and you just have to ride with it. The pain of losing a family member to a genetic form like this is really hard. Any type of grief is really hard. It's something that you can grow from and learn through. But if you are from a family that has a genetic mutation, first if you do want to get tested, contact a neurologist. If your family member has a positive result and they have seen a genetic counselor, the genetic counselor may be able to provide a letter so you can take it to your doctor to get any tests ordered. If you know that there's a specific gene, that can be less expensive, $1,000 to $500. There are some programs that help, but there are others. The full panel can be almost $20,000 in the United States. So it's also a personal choice. Like my oldest daughter, she didn't want to know. She's seen family members that have had these disorders, and she didn't want to know. I can understand that. She's in her late 20s, so that's a different part of life you're at. For me, I had my children before this disease ever was known to be genetic in my family. If you are a child of somebody that has like C9orf72 is autosomal dominant, so it's a 50% chance if you are a child or 50% chance if you're a sibling. And any of the other fractions of percentages of chances, I would recommend you talk to a neurologist and a genetic counselor. But if, there are choices if you decide to get tested. Now, number one, you want to make sure you have your life insurance in place. If you would ever be concerned about getting long-term care insurance, that runs about $150 to $200 a month, pay for if you're in a care home or not. Those are insurances that can ask. They're not covered under GINA, the Genetic Information Protection Plan here in the United States. So I think everybody should have life insurance. The short-term, long-term disability. It's a little bit out of each month's bills yearly, but it can really pay off if you do get injured or if you develop an illness like this. So if you do come from a family, you do want to get tested, you do have all this in place, you do contact the correct people to get tested. If you're going to have children, there are different IVF choices that they can test each egg to make sure that any eggs implanted do not carry the mutation. I know that can be controversial. I appreciate my life. I'm glad that I was able to live, even though I have ALS. I'm thankful for every moment I have. I'm thankful that I've been able to get the physical therapy, occupational therapy to help prolong my walking. My legs are getting a little bit more unsteady, so, I'm hoping that I can keep walking for as long as I can. I'm looking forward to getting on a float to go out on that lake. It's really, really pretty. Just kind of, as you can see, we are socially distanced. So where there's a will, there's a way. You can find some way to have a good day. But I don't know, looking forward to just thinking about what I was thinking last year, right before I got my diagnosis, the fear of, was it fear of the disease? I don't think so. I think it's the fear of knowing that I could be sick and leaving my family. So, I'm thankful that I've had the background I have, so I've been able to put it inside and deal with those emotions. I'm not ready to go yet, and I'll keep fighting. God willing, I can live a lot longer. I have a little one I want to be able to raise. But checking out in Texas, everything's okay. Trying to stay out of the sun too much. I burn pretty good. If you can see, I have some sunscreen that got in other places it shouldn't be. Well, I hope each one of you is doing okay. I hope this audio is clear. If you have any questions, please post them down below. I'll read them, any comments. And I hope you take this day and have a good moment. And tomorrow, a good moment. Just try to make as most as you can out of each day. We never know how many we have. All right. Take care. Bye.